This is James, chapter 1, verse 22 in the KJV. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whosoever looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to YAHAWAH, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, Brakata YAHAWAH, Brakata YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, scattered four corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing His word. Lord willing, as a whole, that y'all continue in sound doctrine and in the same Spirit. Shalom to the Akwath that are believers of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that is not in this faith. This is a continuation of a live I did yesterday dealing with different verses in James, the first chapter. But this main point, it's going to only deal with James chapter 1, verse 22 to 25. So I'm going to read it again, but I'm going to read the NLT. And Lord willing, we can dissect this, and you can find yourself to not just only listen to the words of YAHAWASHI, but actually do what it says. You know, you got some that say we don't need to follow the commandments, but you talk about the New Testament, YAHAWASHI come in the volume of the book. We should be greedy like a normal greedy person, which I've been saying in multiple videos. If two desserts in front of them and they got to pick and choose, they most likely going to say, I want both. So you should do the most for the Lord. You should want both, right? Show obedience by trying to establish the law, but not having it in your conscience. I'm pursuing my own righteousness, or I'm trying to get, righteousness through me doing the law. No, you want to do both, let alone you want to believe into doing the most for the Lord to make yourself worthy, right? Us being humans and the things that we have done, we haven't did the most, right? So maximize your faith, just like what we was going into yesterday, going into James chapter 1, verse 6 to 8, KJV and the NLT, right? A lot of our people, their loyalty is divided between the Most High and the world, and they are unstable in everything that they do. We don't want to be double-minded, right? We don't want 1 foot in and 1 foot out, right? And shake it all about. No, you want to have a single eye on the path, and I had to think about this at work. It's so many things that distract us. Our children is a beautiful example of those things, because most of our children is entertained by electronics, video games, TV. And of course, this ministry is about the men, but even in the ancient world, our children even believed, so Lord willing, we can get back to maximizing our faith, or maintaining our faith while we have the chance, right? And another point is James chapter 1, verse 2 and 4 in the KJV and the NLT. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. And the whole point in this thing, especially what we're about to go in now, if we actually be a doer of the Lord's word, we're going to grow in the Spirit, right? We're not just going to be, I'm not just only a physical Israelite, right? If you was listening to the lesson I did about the image of YAHAWASHI, which we search on ChatGPT, right? We're supposed to be the image of YAHAWASHI, right? Being obedient, being patient, right? Enduring the affliction or the trial or the path the Lord have put you on, fulfilling the purpose that he has for you because it's his will, right? We want to do the most for YAHAWASHI because every day, if you have eyes to see, YAHAWASHI has done the most for us. So let's get into it. This is James chapter 1, verse 22 in the NLT. But prove yourselves doers of the word, actively and continually obeying the Most High's precepts, which precepts is laws, and not merely listeners who hear the word but fail to internalize its meaning, deluding yourself by unsound reasoning contrary to truth, right? And this is the same as a child when you tell your child to do something and they don't do it. You tell them don't go on the street and they actually do it, right? You tell them to go to bed early or on time and they don't do it. You tell them to clean and they don't do it. Us men, we tell our wives what we prefer and they're constantly slipping, doing the opposite, right? And you got multiple examples, right? But if we was just to use Israel as a whole, the Lord gave us an example on what we should, what we can do, and what we can't do. And then even more, when YAHAWASHI came into play, he was showing us the example of grace, showing us the example of faith and believing in him. It's a lot of things on this side, Jake, we do certain things, but we're not believing in the Lord, right? Jake can be sifted out the truth and say, I'm not in the truth. I still got the name of the Lord, but don't have the spiritual eyes to see, because truly, brothers have lost faith. Brothers don't think that the Lord can do certain things, right? So really, don't read to try to cut somebody. Don't read or hear the word just to hear it, and you're using it to either boast or be popular, right? You have to sink yourself into these things, let alone, even for myself, and I know many other brothers, we're not worthy for this. The Lord didn't do this because we deserve it. This was his plan all along. So if you fully dedicated in this truth, it was the Lord plan to make you dedicated to this. This is why he deserves the most. Call Allah YAHAWASHI. Verse 23, it says, for if anyone only listens to the word without obeying it, he is like a man who looks very carefully at his natural face in a mirror. For once he has looked at himself and gone away, he immediately forgets what he looks like. Come on, man. So if you don't obey, right, it's synonymous with somebody that's looking at their natural face in the mirror, right? So as soon as he walks away from the mirror, or you women, right, immediately you forget what you look like. And we see, us, we'll be at home looking at ourselves in the mirror, then you walk past something where you can see a reflection and you looking at yourself again, right? Forgetting how you look. Oh, do my outfit look good? Man, you left the house. You should remember what you look like. But this is the same when it comes to hearing this word. Like sometimes if I'm reading, I might forget what I read. So now I've been trying to deal with, as soon as I get done reading, let me meditate on what I read. And while I'm meditating on what I read, am I thinking of any other ideas I can line it with to encourage me more, right? I'm trying to do the best, right? Verse 25, it says, but he who looks carefully into the perfect law, the law of freedom, the law of liberty is freedom, and faithfully abides by it, remains by it, not having become a careless listener who forgets, but an active doer who obeys, he will be blessed and favored by the Most High in what he does in his life of obedience, right? And we're trying to show YAHAWASHI we can be obedient, That is a reflection of YAHAWASHI, the likeness of YAHAWASHI in the spirit, right? What is it? 1 John 2 and 6. If ye abide in him, which is in this same verse, faithfully abides by it. If we faithfully, if we abide in YAHAWASHI, remain in YAHAWASHI, we must walk like he walked. And he was obedient to the Lord. He was doing pursuing to do the will of Heavenly Father. Even though being in the flesh is like, dang man, I gotta do this. But he still was showing the example of obedience. Real surrender, real submissiveness. Really, Yahweh Shem Yahushai controls our life, right? And it's times because you're in the flesh, sometimes we're gonna slip, right? But if you listen to the words of the Lord, right, you're gonna continue to endure, right? Because that patience is going to, the endurance is gonna give you experience. And while we're patiently waiting for Yahweh Shem Shai, we're gonna constantly endure the obstacles, constantly endure the trial, constantly endure our surroundings. Right? It's a work in progress when it comes to applying the word of Yahweh Shem Shai. Right? Especially with multiple distractions. Just want to get this straight to the point. This is Luke chapter 6, verse 46. Why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Which we have multiple brothers and sisters that say they have the faith and they say Yahweh Shem Shai, Yahweh Shem Shai, but they're not doing what he say. Or those that saying Jesus, Jesus, but you're an Israelite. They're not doing what the Lord said, right? Because we supposed to baptize people in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. We know that true baptism is with the word. So you're supposed to be baptizing them in the Father's name. But if you going into the word, you should be knowing his true ancient name. Because when Yahawashi was on the earth, he wasn't speaking English. He was speaking his Hebrew language. Right? And we see certain moments indicating that he was speaking Hebrew. Main popular language, especially even before Yahawashi, was Hebrew. And even Greek. And then even the Romans the majority was speaking Italian, or they were speaking Latin because they were Italian, right? But let's keep going. So why call me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Let's slide back over to, let's get Saint Matthew, the 7th chapter. Let's get verse 21 to 24. It says, not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Right? Wait, before I continue to keep reading the 24, that should be something serious unto you. Right? Not everybody saying Lord, Lord, not everybody saying Yahweh Shem Shai is going to get in the kingdom of heaven. And then he said at the end, right, the end of that verse, he said, but he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. So every day we want to find ourselves doing the will of the Lord. But this is not about me boasting in the face of somebody else, or even boasting to myself. Like Galatians, 6 and 3, we deceive of our own self if we think we something. It goes back to Yahweh Shem Shai. If you abide in him, it's him moving in you. Right? It says, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Right? And me in the flesh, but thinking in the spirit, I'm afraid of the Lord saying this to me. We should be afraid of the Lord saying this to us. Be sincere in your walk. That's why we want to be sincere when we listening, because it should apply to you being a doer. Just like when we see in the scriptures, you can see my faith through my works and my work through my faith. You should see that I am a hearer by being a doer. And by seeing me be a doer, you should be able to see that I am a hearer. Right? Verse 24, therefore whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. That rock is YAHAWASHI. The Lord gave us 2 ears to listen, and we should be sincere about it. I think this precept I want, this is Sirach chapter 5 verse 10. Be stand fast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere. With patience give answer. Right? We should be sincere in our life. Right? Real life is in Hamashiach Yahawashi. Be sincere about this truth. This ain't no joke. This should not just be a moment. This should not be something that's wasting your time. This is something that should be serious whenever Yahweh Shai come to thought, a conversation, right? When you got to pray, you know, the whole point is for us to grow and become better, you know, for the liking of Yahweh Shai, you know, trying to prove yourself worthy unto the Lord. But we know through, you know, the doctrine of the Lord that this ministry is really for the elect, those that are predestined. They're going to naturally get it. This is Romans chapter 2. Romans chapter 2 and verse 13. It says, for not the hearers of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified, right? The just shall be justified. Why? Because of faith. Faith. Right? And again, people, like I heard the one elder say, you know, sir, some people or some congregation will say we're a faith-based ministry. Yes. Even more, you know, me and my brothers, we speak about faith continually because faith is the key. Faith is the key. You got to have faith that this is the true word. You got to have faith that you are a Hebrew Israelite. You got to have faith that, you know, you must do the most you can for Yahweh Shai to the best of your ability. You must believe that it's Yahweh keeping you in this faith. You must believe that it's the Lord keeping you away from certain people or certain activities. You have to truly believe it's Yahweh Shai. You got to believe the Lord is with you. He around you. Yeah, of course, you know, we're not going to do it in a prideful way or cocky way. The Lord with me, not with you. But we could tell how a Jake is moving or what he teach, what name he coming under. The Lord not with you. He's not dealing with you. Now, just like I said at work, you know, I believe I got a taste of the Rakakwadash, you know, because I'm searching the deep things. I'm looking at videos. But then when we go into the point of Acts the 2nd chapter, where they were really filled with the Rakakwadash, they were speaking different tongues, right? They was healing just off of the name of Yahawashi, right? We doing certain things spiritually, right? Edifying people in the name of Yahweh Shai. But it's going to be a time where somebody can be, like when me clocking out of work, it's the one guy, Mike, that's like an MIC, whatever role he played, but he's an elder, and from my age, his knees is bad, and the other guy was speaking about his knee too. And then all last night I was thinking about spiritual powers. I was thinking about flying, stopping bullets, telepathically talking to people, right? I gotta have faith in these things. And I believe that it's gonna be a time where the true men of the Lord is gonna be healing certain men and women, right? Either with sickness, pains, Or they might have a whole, spirit in them. And you yell and tell that spirit that's within them to flee away, right? Because really, those that are of YAHAWASHI, them spirits know who you is. When you really come into your senses, they know, oh yeah, man, I can't deal with this brother, right? Because we powerful in YAHAWASHI, right? So let's get this one. Sirach, the 4th chapter. In verse 28 to 29, it says, strive for the truth until death, right? This is a life and death matter, right? You should truly be striving for YAHAWASHI. And it might lead you to death. It might lead you for dying for the witness or the testimony of YAHAWASHI. It is faith, right? You got to really sit there and think, man, will I do it? Yahweh Ratazah. But your actions are going to show on this side that you're working on those moments. Working on that moment where they bring you to the magistrates. Right? Moments where your family might not want to deal with you because of this truth. Right? The Rakak Wadash is not going to have you shaking the hand and trying to cut them with some dang scriptures because they don't get it. You're going to automatically feel it. They might not be of the elect. They're not trying to receive this word. Guess what? Keep it moving. Right? We have to strive in this thing until death. Whenever that day is, it says, in Yahweh shall fight for thee. Be not hasty in thy tongue, and in thy deeds slack and remiss. Right? So again, don't be hasty in your tongue. It's times where I said I wouldn't be a prophet. I mean, I would never be a teacher. That sounds like a boring job. Look at me now teaching. Thou sayest. Got to say, Lord willing. Right? God, I tell my man, if Jacob trouble, if y'all separated from me because of this and family, I'm not coming to get you. Just like when I told your man, hey, thou sayest. Lord willing, you don't. Lord willing, I don't. But you never know what the Lord might do. And that goes back, gotta have faith in that. I have to have faith that if somebody was to break in the house and Esau do become a madman, I have to really get serious and say, oh, we gotta pray to the Lord and not doubt when these things is coming, right? Let's get Deuteronomy 5:1. Just so you can hear some of the Old Testament points. This is Deuteronomy chapter 5:1. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I spake in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep and do them. Right? We supposed to learn of these things. This is why it's very important that hear brothers teach this word. It's important even for you to go read. Hey, you might come across something you don't understand. Hey, jot it down. If you're around brothers that actually teach and you can get edified, wait until you have a conversation with them to point you in the right direction. Right? This truth is serious. This ministry is serious. We just vessels in the Lord's business. But is you about his business? Right? So again, he said, which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them. Right? Every day should be a learning. Coming in this truth as a student, you should be a learner. Right? Keep and do them. You want to keep them, establish them, and we want to do them. Let's go to Ezra 7 and 10. This is Ezra chapter 7 in verse 10. It says, for Ezra had prepared his heart, prepared his mind to seek. When we go to, what is it? Second Chronicles, the 15th chapter, verse 13. right? Whosoever don't seek YAHAWASHI should be put to death, right? Gotta have that mindset. Prepare your heart to seek, right? Dirige the law of Yahweh, and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments, right? The men, right? And to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments. This is what we supposed to be doing for the elect, because the elect is there. The elect is there. The elect is there. The elect is there. Right? Yo, this reading and hearing the word sharpens up your faith. But it brings you closer to the Lord. Like, I know some of you men and sisters have, oh man, ooh, man, I'm going to have to read that chapter. Or you reading a chapter, then you compare with another translation. You're like, oh my goodness, YAHAWASHI, you picked the perfect candidate to fit those shoes, which is the Mashiach YAHWASHI. Right? Coming in this truth and learning, you get excited. You know? So now, let's go to Ezekiel 33. I like this chapter right here. This is Ezekiel 33, verse 31 to 32. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they do show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness, right? Their mind go after their desires. It says, and lo, thou art unto them a very lovely song of one that have a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not, right? What you saying, oh man, you sound like a beautiful artist, you singing a song, but if this is so beautiful, why you ain't doing it? Because most of them have their heart or their mind truly in the world. Now, I just want to get this quick precept because of what I just said. Matthew 13, verse 20, it says, but he that received the seed unto stony places, the same as he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. And we see that he heareth the word. Where's the point of him being a doer? It says, yet have he not root in himself, but endure for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. Right? So again, he that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. This is another reason why you want to maintain your faith. Hearing the word, reading, praying, fasting. Hey, sometimes you might not get it here. That should be a flag to yourself. You know what? I might have to fast again. You really, those that's really trying to come in this faith, you got to really have that desire for this. A lot don't, because their mind is elsewhere. Let's get these last two. This is Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 23 to 24. It says, but this thing commanded I them, saying, I obey my voice, and I will be your power, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear, but walk in the counsels and in the imaginations of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. Now that just made me think of something too, man. Right? So many Israelites, from men, women, and children, that don't hearken to it. They incline their ears. They're not walking in the counsel of YAHAWASHI, but they're in the imagination of their evil heart. Right? And children do this a lot, especially if especially brothers that's in this faith that's dealing with mother and father not together, and maybe your father or your mother or whatever relative is not teaching you thus saith YAHAWASHI, right? Your true colors, the true you come out, and you entertain those things, right? So again, I'm gonna read verse 23 again. But this thing I commanded, Salaki, but this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your power, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. But they hearken not, nor incline their ears, but walk in the counsel and in imagination of their evil heart, and went backwards and not forward. The children of Israel is the first moonwalkers, before James Brown, before Michael Jackson, before anybody. And then now, look at how Esau just make this captivity like a damn buffet, a buffet, where you get to just get all type. You get to get yourself in all types of things. Some things many things is unrighteous. And then you got some things that that's not even unrighteous, you know. And some of these things is not unrighteous, and you can't really line it up with righteous, you know. Things on this side is made to distract us from the main target. It's just like when you playing darts. The main target is right in the middle. But as soon as you throw it, it goes to a whole nother direction. This is a lot of times our flesh doing these things. Like a lot of like the elder apostle always say this. Y'all really don't know what y'all signed up for. This is a tug of war, right? Let me go to Psalms 119, verse 1 and 2. It says, blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of Yahawah. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies, and that seek him with the whole heart, right? You have to truly seek the Lord with all your heart. It's times where you might read, and that fire might draw you to do a lesson, and then after your lesson, or after you read and after your lesson, now you want to even speak about it in your house, or you want to meditate on it. Then another lesson come in, or it draws you to watch a video. Right? This ministry and that 100% truth is a domino effect. Right? Read it again. Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of YAHAWASHI. A lot of us can't remember everything in the law, so it's good to go back into it. YAHAWASHI not here yet. Go back into it. It says, blessed are they that keep his testimonies, and that seek him with the whole heart. Seek him with all your might. And with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Brakati Yahawah, Brakati Yahawashi. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Almighty Shalom to the full elect scattered four corners of the earth in the same spirit, that y'all all continue in sound doctrine and in the same spirit. Shalom to the Akwath, believers of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. Lord willing, the most have mercy on our other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. With that, shalom. Shalom.